In the gentle hush of early morning, while much of the world still nestled in sleep, a young man named Daniel laced up his running shoes and stepped out into the cool pre-dawn air. The first rays of sunlight barely kissed the horizon, yet Daniel was already on the move, his breath visible in the chilly air, his mind set with quiet determination. This was not a single act of resolve, but the continuation of a journey that had begun many years earlier, a journey shaped by struggle, failure, and above all, discipline. Daniel grew up in a small town surrounded by rolling hills and fields that stretched as far as the eye could see. From a young age, he dreamed of breaking free from the boundaries that seemed to define his world. He watched others succeed and soar, and he longed for that same sense of possibility. But for years, he felt trapped by circumstances, by fear, by the limits he placed on himself. In school, Daniel was an average student. He watched his friends excel while he struggled to keep pace. He envied their achievements, but he also resented the hours they spent studying and practicing. He wanted results, but he was reluctant to put in the work. Instead, he drifted through his days, wishing for things to change, but doing little to make it happen. One autumn afternoon, everything shifted. Daniel's grandfather, a man of few words but deep wisdom, sat beside him on the porch as the leaves turned golden around them. "You keep wishing for freedom, Daniel," his grandfather said gently, "but freedom isn't about doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Real freedom comes from discipline. It's the key that unlocks every door." At first, Daniel bristled at the idea. Discipline sounded like restriction, like more rules and less fun. But his grandfather's words lingered, echoing in his mind as days turned to weeks. The more he thought about it, the more he realized that his life, as it was, felt anything but free. He was a prisoner of his impulses, his procrastination, and his doubts. So Daniel made a promise to himself. He would try, really try, to live with discipline, even if it was uncomfortable at first. He started with small steps, waking up 30 minutes earlier, making his bed, dedicating a set time each day to his studies. It wasn't glamorous, and it certainly wasn't easy. There were mornings when he wanted nothing more than to stay in bed, afternoons when distractions called to him, and evenings when he questioned whether any of it was worth it. But as days turned into weeks, Daniel began to notice something remarkable. The very routines that had once felt confining now brought him a sense of order and purpose. He no longer wasted hours scrolling through his phone or worrying about unfinished tasks. By committing to his responsibilities, he found he actually had more time. Time to pursue hobbies, to be with friends, to dream. His grades began to improve, not overnight, but steadily, as a result of the consistent effort he put in each day. Teachers noticed his focus. Friends asked about his new habits. Daniel realized that discipline was not about denying himself pleasure, but about making conscious choices, about setting priorities and honoring them. With each small victory, Daniel's confidence grew. He applied the same principles to other areas of his life. He trained for a local race, running before dawn each morning, his footsteps a steady rhythm of progress. He learned to play the guitar, practicing scales and chords until the music flowed from his fingers with ease. Each new skill, each accomplishment, was a testament to the quiet power of discipline. Years passed, and Daniel's life unfolded in ways he had once only imagined. He left his small town to attend university, where the challenges were greater and the temptations stronger. But the habits he had built served as his anchor. While others struggled to juggle competing demands, Daniel relied on the routines that had become second nature. He studied diligently, but also made time for friends and adventures, knowing that discipline was not about deprivation, but about balance. After graduation, Daniel pursued his passion for teaching, eager to share what he had learned. He saw in the faces of his students the same longing for freedom he had once felt, the desire to shape their own destinies, to rise above their circumstances. He told them his story, not as a tale of overnight success, but as a testament to what was possible with sustained effort and self-control. He explained that discipline is not a punishment, but a gift we give ourselves. It is the bridge between goals and achievement, between dreams and reality. It is the quiet force that sustains us when motivation fades, the steady hand that guides us through uncertainty. As Daniel continued his journey, he faced setbacks and disappointments, moments when his resolve wavered and the old doubts returned. But he returned always to the lessons he had learned. That discipline does not guarantee an easy path, but it does make the journey possible. It allows us to rise after every fall, to persist in the face of adversity, to find joy in the process rather than just the outcome. And so each morning, Daniel laced up his shoes and greeted the day with purpose. He understood now that freedom was not found in the absence of boundaries, but in the mastery of self. The true liberation came from knowing he could trust himself to do what needed to be done, even when it was hard, even when no one was watching. Through discipline, Daniel found not only success but fulfillment. He discovered that the greatest freedom is the freedom to become who we are meant to be, one deliberate step at a time. And in this truth lies the power for all of us. Discipline is not a burden, but a path to freedom, an invitation to live with intention, to build a life of meaning, and to unlock the limitless potential that lies within.